All right, we are streaming live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Finding Your Passion Through Self-Discovery with OMZ, aka myself, aka Carl Peter, aka OMZ the Root in the house, baby. And today we have a very special guest, Naomi Nye. She will be sharing her story and how to become successful through life's challenges. Naomi, we have had an awesome interview before. And I see that how you put these messages out for the youth, especially, and for the parents, so that we can see what's on the other side of these challenges. Why don't you go ahead, introduce yourself to everybody, and a little bit of your story.
Sure. Well, hi, everybody. First, I want to say I'm so glad to be here and thank you for having me. And I absolutely love the group and everybody. It's so inspiring. And yeah, my name is Naomi Nye. I'm a teen coach, like Carl said. And basically, I never thought that this is where I would be. But sometimes, life doesn't give you exactly what it is that you want. It gives you what you need. And so my story starts a little bit from birth so that you guys can understand, because basically, we all have a background, we all have a childhood, and that's where everything in our life begins, right? In those first developmental years. So I was born in a very religious family, a Jehovah's Witness family. And besides that, within the home, although my father was an elder and it was a very important family and we were very strict and all, but within the home there was a lot of dysfunction, there was a lot of abuse, and there was a lot of violence. And so that pretty much set my life in a trajectory that I didn't plan for. It wasn't a life that I chose for, and I stayed in that environment for 25 years. And that was, 25 years. I lived there for 25 years. And that pretty much formed a little bit of who I was. And although I thought that I had found my freedom, right? I thought, wow, now I'm going to be free. I finally got out. I'm on my own. I'm going to do whatever I want. And although that was true, I was able to go to school, get a job, and become very successful. But remember, we can change our environment, but if we don't change the inside, pretty soon it's going to come back to you and it's going to catch up to you, right? And that's exactly what happened to me. So I was doing really well. I had spent a couple of years out, what they call the world, because when you're Jehovah's Witness, everything else is like mundane. It's a part of the world and you're like not a part of it. So this was a new world for me. And although I was doing very well, I became very, very ill.
Wow.
Now, yeah, I got very sick. From birth, I was born with a club foot. So I had many surgeries. And I was okay for a long time, but I got very ill. And I also developed, I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. And I had to undergo about 6 surgeries. I had to undergo around 6 surgeries, and I was practically bedridden. I was obviously in a lot of pain medications, and this took my life, like I told you, in a trajectory that I had no idea was going to go. I was doing so well. I had my business. I had a relationship. I had what I thought I had made it. I was successful. I had made it. I never thought that I was going to do so well. And then, boom, I got hit with surgery after surgery after surgery in a span of like 7 years. I underwent 5 surgeries and 6 hospitalizations.
Wow.
And yeah, and you know what? It broke me. It broke me. When it was done at the end of the 7 years, I couldn't get out of that bed. I couldn't get out of that bed. And this is the thing. This is what I say. Sometimes we leave our past, but the past comes back, and life gives you lessons. And we think that things are happening to us, but they're actually opportunities, They're happening for us. We just don't see them. And so this is where basically this new trajectory or journey of my life began. Because I found that I was at a point where I could not make myself do what I needed to do. I know I needed to get out of that bed. I know I needed to do all these things and start all over, but I couldn't make myself do it because I didn't have the mental toughness. I didn't have the mindset that I needed. And so I had to hit really rock bottom. I lost my relationship. I lost my home. I lost my cars. I lost my business. I lost everything. I literally had to end up moving out, renting a room from somebody, and literally with no credit cards, no job, no bank account, no nothing, because everything was joined. I had a life with a partner for 15 years. Now I'm starting over. And it's in those moments, sometimes you have to like hit rock bottom and struggle so hard to like build yourself back up. And this is where my journey into personal development started. And thank God, like many people, I happened to have found a Tony Robbins DVD set. And that was what got me going. That was the first step. That was the first thing that I saw that, it like hit a light bulb and said, this is where I need to go.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah, go ahead.
No. And so, I remember like it was today, right? It was August 2017. And August 2017, I had like a huge awakening. I don't know if you've ever heard of, it's a Japanese principle from the Zen tradition. It's called the Kenzo versus the Satori.
What is that exactly?
Okay, so basically we all learn and we grow and we have experiences and change through different ways, right? Some of us have a Kenzo and Satori, and we basically dance between both of these through life. So a Kenzo moment is you having an awakening through pain. So we learn the hard way through suffering and pain. And this is how you have that awakening moment. So you get fired or you break up with your partner, right? And through this suffering is where you realize, oh my God, now this is what I need to do, right? And then there's the Satori, where you have the awakenings, or you learn your lessons through enlightenment, which is, to me is how I have been evolving now because of personal development. And you can understand this because you're on the same path. So we don't need to learn the hard ways anymore. Through working on ourselves and personal development, you're able to learn and grow through bliss instead of through pain. But basically, yeah, go ahead.
Exactly. Like, by the way, sorry you had to go through all of that, like through your early years and stuff. And then you realized at that breaking point, you said that everything I've gone through, maybe it's leading me to my purpose, so that I could share my story with the world and show others what's possible on the other side of all this pain. And like you said, self-development, it's not an easy process, but as long as we are working on ourselves, wanting to be the betterment of ourselves, we actually make it easy and in bliss, because we're actually going towards something beautiful, magnificent, and lots of personal growth on the other side of that. Is so much so we see that there's so much life to live, rather than taking all the pain of our past and holding it in. We're actually using that pain to grow. And there's like no better feeling in the world. And I know what you mean, because I've hit it too. I felt that pain. And once I stepped outside a certain life also, and I also, by the way, Tony Robbins was my original mentor too. Through one of his books was Unlimited Power. What was the CD? Do you remember the CD that you picked up?
I think it was Unleash the Power Within. I think it's a DVD set that he had. It was from the 90s. I had purchased it like in 1998, and I didn't even remember I had it. And going through the closet, getting my stuff ready to leave the house, I found it. And so it was a blessing. But I believe that life is about that. Because we all get to a point in life that we ask ourselves, what is this all about? What is it all about? And I really believe that life is about us. It's about learning how to ride this journey. It's learning how to master yourself. I really believe that that's a skill in life. It's about the challenges, because you know what? I thought that when I would have money and have all the success, I thought when I had the perfect relationship, I thought that when I would be in control of my life, I was going to be in bliss. And that was one of the biggest disappointments that I had. that it didn't happen. Yeah, I was happy. Oh my God, when I bought my beautiful car, when I bought my beautiful home cash, that was a beautiful moment. But you know that after that, it's like, okay, and now what? And you realize, because life is not about that. That is all extra. That is all a bonus. What the key of life is mastering yourself.
Yes.
It really is mastering yourself. And then everything else is a bonus, because we spend our lives trying to control everything. You know, when I get the perfect job, I'm going to be great. And, you know, when I have the perfect wife, and then everything has to be perfect for us to be happy. But life is not like that. Life is messy.
Exactly.
You know, what I realize is that if there's anything, you cannot control if there's anything that you should know, that you can't control anything, but that's okay. Because all you really need to is to control yourself. And once you have control of yourself, then you're okay with not having control, because you know what? You're able to challenge your obstacles, your journeys now with a different feel, with a different way. You know, it's like looking at the glass half full or looking at the glass half empty.
Yes.
You know, and
a
that's
lot
a
of
challenge.
people, a lot of people, they chase perfectionism, you know, and sometimes when we achieve a big goal, we're like, is that it? Is that all there is to it, you know? And because we don't realize that it's not about the goal, it's about the journey. You know, it's about enjoying the process. It's about everything that we learn, all we grow throughout that process, which the challenges, they come in. That's where the challenges come in, because those challenges, they're the building blocks of our character. And everything that we're going through is getting us one step closer to where we're supposed to be. It's called like a preparation for where we're going to be. And that's why we got these life's challenges. That's why we're set back sometimes. Sometimes we're set back so that we can actually reflect too, so that we reflect and understand how to actually make the comeback that much sweeter. And you know, and as long as we keep chasing perfectionism, is a great point here, is that we'll actually start procrastinating more, possibly too, as we're like, it didn't go my way, or if I keep thinking about it, it's got to be this way, it's got to be this way. It's never going to be that way. In fact, we're going to keep thinking it over and over in our heads, and then when you take action, it's going to be completely different. You'll probably fail, you make mistakes, but understand that those mistakes that you made, instead of saying that it's not for me, say, I'm learning from this happening for me. And and we take it from there. So in life, don't chase perfectionism, chase the better version of yourself. That's how I like to say. I like to say, chase the better version of yourself. You know, Matthew McConaughey, he had this, when he won an Oscar, he said, he gave a beautiful speech. I don't know if you've seen it. And he kept talking about his future hero. And somebody asked him, who's your hero? He said, my hero is me in 5 years. He meets his hero in 5 years. He said, have you met your hero yet? He said, no, I'm going to meet my hero in 5 years, me in 5 years. And he kept repeating it, because he knows you're never going to you know, really be your hero. You're already your hero. You're already your hero.
Not just this, but this is something that we all have to take into consideration. Okay, we're working with a brain that's thousands of years old, so we're comparison creatures by nature. So, and this is necessary. I mean, think about it. When you're in a tribe, how do you place yourself in a hierarchy? When you're learning something, how do you position yourself as far as where your knowledge is? Well, you compare yourself to someone else to see where you're at. So this is normal for us to do. What happens is our brain is primarily negative. So then we tend to what? Compare ourselves and put ourselves down. Compare ourselves and put ourselves down. So what you're saying is 100% right. It's a tendency. We're all going to compare ourselves. But what you have to remember is that whoever you're looking at, they're where they're at, but they had a different life. They had different circumstances. They had a different background. They're where they're at in according to where they're supposed to be with the circumstances and the life that they were dealt. You have your life and your circumstances, so you should only be comparing yourself to the person you were yesterday. If you're a little bit better than you were yesterday, then you know what? Good for you, and just keep moving forward. Because that's what it's about. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what it's about.
It's about challenging yourself. Yeah.
About challenging yourself, yes. Zanette is saying, always be your own hero and clap loud for yourself. Everybody signing in, by the way, if you haven't gone through the, the app, that little process they give you, so that I can see everyone signing in, and we'll be doing Q&A soon. Put your names at the end of each comment so I know who's commenting. Hello, Noah Hicks, KJ Smestad, and Christina Chow. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you guys have any questions as we're leading to it, let us know. Naomi, I understand you have courses too, right? Like you do some kind of like classes that you teach for the youth or something like that. Would you like to share a little bit about it?
Yeah, I got into it because when everything happens, that I found myself in a position where I had to move forward, because basically I was not going to have any food. I was completely on my own. Like, I had to move forward. There was no turning back. I started asking myself questions, and I started looking at things completely different. And the first thing that I was asking myself was, okay, what would I have needed to learn when I was young so that I could have handled my challenges? Because you know what, Carl, I used to feel sorry for myself because I had 18 surgeries, because I lived in a very abusive home. And, my mom used to tell me every time I wanted to leave, she would say, if you leave, I'll kill myself. I'll kill myself. So I lived in my home till I was like 26 because I was afraid. I didn't want my mom to hurt herself, and, I love her dearly. We have a great relationship now. But so, I was afraid. And then when I left out, I had really bad experiences because I wasn't street smart back then. I hadn't gone to school. I really hadn't been out in the world. So I was like a sucker. So I got into I got a lot of problems. I was in a rape. I just terrible things that happened to me, And so when I got to this point, I started feeling sorry for myself. Like, why did this happen to me? But you know what? Like I was saying, Carl, we all have challenges. I had all these surgeries, but I don't know if you know that Australian guy who has like no arms and no legs, but he does personal development, and he has TED Talks and everything. And I remember watching him and thinking, God, like, who am I to like complain when there are people who can't walk and who are sitting there and thinking, I have so much to be grateful for, And so it's like what you said, it's like changing your perspective. It's, I used to think that things were happening to me. And when you stop saying that, when you stop saying things are happening to me and you start saying it's happening for me, like the other day, for example, with this, I had something terrible happen to me, right? And for a second, I was about to spiral down and think, man, every time things are going good, boom, something has to happen. And it's like, and then I'm like, wait, this happened. What could be the lesson in this? Yeah. And it took me a minute, but I found the lesson. And, like they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And things are always happening for you. It's always an opportunity for you to learn something about yourself, or to learn something about life, or whatever it is that you're involved or you're doing.
Exactly. And it takes so much time for a lot of us to realize that, especially as we go through our daily routines and daily work and stuff like that, people leaving the house unhappy to go to their jobs every day. And they keep carrying this pain. They keep carrying it. And the more we carry it, the more, the ego is going to be set. It's going to satisfy the ego. And I've been there, I've done that. And I thought I was doing the right thing. I didn't know what I was doing wrong. I felt like this is normal, until sometimes life has to hit us like so hard in the face. And then we have a choice to make. Are you going to be this way? Is this who you want to be? Or do you believe in yourself enough to have the willpower to change and say that I am enough as I am, and I can make this happen? And I think the guy you're talking about, his name is Nick V. Thank you, KJ Smestad. I think he also does some things with Tony Robbins.
Yes, Nick Volnovich, something like that. Yes. It could be,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, he's definitely inspiring. He's very inspiring. No arms, no legs. He's got a six pack. He's able to talk
Yeah.
and stuff like that. So he's very inspiring for sure. And so it's it doesn't start with more of comparison, but just realizing how much we have to be grateful for. You know,
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
have the five senses, able to see, we're able to touch, we're able to, all of that stuff. And we what we do with what we're given is
Yeah.
is the choice that we have at the end of the day. Doesn't
And that's
matter.
what,
Yeah.
oh no, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that circumstances don't matter. What matters is our willpower and the choices that we make.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I like try to tell kids, and the way that I created the courses, because it really is about that. It's one, we're always making choices. Like, I love numbers, so we make about 7,000 decisions a day. Think about that, because everything's a choice. Ketchup, mustard, it's all a choice. And we're always making choices, and so it's being more aware of like the choices that we make. Is being more aware of the stuff that we do. But it takes a while. It takes a while. Like you said, it takes like things to happen to you for you to start becoming more aware of yourself and aware of who you are. And basically, until that, I feel like it's kind of like being in the Matrix. And that's kind of like what it feels like to be unplugged from the Matrix. It's when you're just doing things and you're really not aware of why you're doing things. You're just compelled to do things. And then all of a sudden, poof, you start questioning things and you ask yourself, well, why am I doing this like this? I'm not even happy. I'm not even happy. And you start questioning. And that to me is like pulling out of the Matrix. And then you start doing like what we're doing. And it's hard. It's not easy. And this is what, like, when I started the personal development journey, I used to ask myself, well, if I want to convince a kid to do this, why am I going to convince him to do it? Because think about it. I mean, let's do whatever we want. You want to do drugs, you want to have sex, you want to drink, you want to do whatever it is you want, go ahead and do it. Like, I mean, that seems pleasurable and fun. So why would I sit here and now delay gratification, restrict my associations, work on myself, do personal development, exercise, get on a routine, get up early, be kind, have gratitude. You know what I mean? When it's so hard. But because the reward is, like I was saying, I think that's the whole purpose of life. The reward is the joy that you get when you have that self-control, the joy that you get when you see like you plant the seeds and then you see the reward when you get to share with others. Like, for example, you with your group. I mean, you have this amazing tribe of people that you've inspired. You've created a movement. To me, that is a joy that no one night stand is going to give me. I've been there. I'm looking for something a little bit deeper now. So that's what, like, I try to tell people, like, yeah, you want to have fun, go ahead, have fun. But if you want to have joy that lasts, if you want to have true joy and fulfillment, then you need to go a little deeper. You need to go a little deeper. And that's what this journey is about. And I mean, look at what you've created is pretty freaking amazing. So
Thank you.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And thank you. Like as kids, teenagers, we're growing up. Most of the time, what do kids want to do? Want to break the rules, right? Kids always want to break the rules. So if parents tell us to do something, we want to do the opposite. And sometimes it's really just natural. And as long as we're aware, and the more we grow, the more mistakes that we make sometimes, that's when we start realizing, this is actually the right thing to do. Sometimes we have to go through that to understand what's on the other side of not doing this, and changing the way that we act and our daily actions and decisions that we make. But because if we didn't make mistakes, there would be really no learning process along the way. That's no growth. Growth comes out of mistakes. It comes out of challenges. It comes out of taking risks and stuff like that. And on the other side of that is where you actually find fulfillment, is where you find success, as long as we're aware of it. And sometimes we can just keep going and going and going and say that, everything's going to be okay. And we keep telling ourselves that because sometimes the ego tells us, stay safe, stay put, you're okay. You're okay where you're at. You don't need to change. Don't listen to them. They don't want what's best for you. And your intuition is trying to tell you that this is I'm trying to guide you in the right direction. And the right decision to make is usually the hardest decision to make, which is change, right? It's change. And as long as we keep following that other voice, though, like the ego, it's actually going to start digging something inside of us, and we'll become unconscious of it in the long run. We'll ask ourselves a couple of years from now, 5 years from now, why am I feeling this way? And we realize that we actually have embedded something within us that's deep within. We have to find the root of it all. And if anyone's going through this, guys, if anyone, was talking to right now is going through this, understand that to get to the roots of it all, you have to ask yourself the right questions. Like, ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? Give yourself time to reflect on certain past decisions that you've made that have led you here, or if you're being aware of how you're acting on a daily basis. Is it the same thing? Are you, just going with the flow of things, but still feeling the same ways that you don't want to? Or are you actually experiencing some growth in the process? Which, if it's taking time, that's okay. But because progress means that you're having some results, and it takes time, guys. It takes time. But to get to the root of it all and to escape from this kind of pain, to really get to the other side of it all it takes is one choice, one question, one step. And maybe you do one thing differently one day without overwhelming yourself. And it's all within you, guys. It's all within you. And we can go deep on this topic like this, Naomi. This is a deep topic, and
but it's like you said, it's asking the right questions, because I remember when I started, I was asking all the wrong questions. Like, why is this happening to me? Why did he do this? Why? Do you understand what I'm saying? So it is about asking the right questions. It's like, okay, why is this happening? What can I do different? Why? What can I learn from this? What can I do so that it doesn't happen again? Or what did I want different? Okay, so what can I do to get that? It's when you try to look at it as always trying to find a solution, or if not trying to find a solution, trying to find the prettiest and the easiest way to be able to manage it. That's what it's about.
Yes.
That's what it's about. That's the journey, really. Because you know what? If you're out there and you're going through something and you're probably thinking, you know what? When I go through my divorce, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. You know what? When you go through your divorce, you're going to be faced with a new challenge. So it's really not about that, because that's how I used to live my life, just waiting for the next one. Okay. When I get the car, I'm going to feel better. And then I would get the car and nothing. And then I was like, okay, when I get this, then I'm going to be okay. But it's not about that. It's about the journey.
Yes.
It's about the ride. It's about the ride.
Exactly.
So
and that's why we go through it. We go through this journey so that we can actually develop the best versions of ourselves. And exactly, the right questions, patience, understanding. And if you ever feel like, reaching out to someone, asking someone, something that you're going through, talk it out. Don't hold it in. It's okay to talk it out. I understand, sometimes we can have these voices in our head saying that, I'm afraid what they're going to think of me. They're probably going to laugh at me, make a joke of me. Why are you thinking like that? It's if you're in your head, you're dead. Like, it's you got to listen to your heart. You got to listen to what's inside your real emotions. That's going to tell you.
Yeah, absolutely. And remember, we have 60 to 80,000 thoughts a day. We cannot take them all seriously. We just can't. We can't. And the brain is primarily negative. It's thousands of years old, and it does it to protect us. I mean, think about it. We used to live out in open space, right? So that's the brain we're working with. So it was used to always looking at everything as a warning. So for example, we live in the modern world, but we're living with a prehistoric brain. So if somebody rejects us, we feel like we're gonna die. You know, I was reading this thing about tribes. So basically that is why rejection feels so bad for humans, because when we used to live out in the wilderness, living with a tribe was what kept us safe and kept us alive. If we got lost and left the tribe, well, that's it. We were exposed to not only nature, but predators. So we live longer when we stay together in groups. So this is why we produce a certain chemical. It's called tachycardin. And I'm sure you've heard it from tachycardia, right? So tachycardin is what you produce when you're rejected or when you don't have like social contact for a certain amount of time. So this is why it feels to us like we're gonna die. You know,
Yes.
It's all of these things that we have to remember, that we're working with an old brain in modern times, you know, and to remember that it's in us to choose what we think of. It's in us to choose what we believe in. It's our story, and our life is really run by the stories that we tell ourselves. So when things are going bad, ask yourself, okay, like what story am I telling myself here? Because you know what? I could give a guy my phone number, right? I could give someone my phone number and him not call me. And then I could be thinking in my head, I knew it. I'm just not lucky in love. You know, I knew he wasn't going to call me. Or I could say, he probably lost my number. You know, something happened. Or, you know what? If he isn't going to call me, then maybe he's not for me, and better for me. You know, so it really is, it's all about, like what you said, it all starts with us. It starts with us. It's all about
Exactly.
us.
And that's why life is a vert mentality. You know, what we tell ourselves is what we start to think and start to bring into reality through our actions, because our
Yeah.
thoughts determine the direction of our actions. And you absolutely can control your thoughts. It starts by what you tell yourself. And even if you're not that person, if you want to become a certain somebody, it starts by telling yourself that you are already that somebody, that you're already where you want to be. And oh my God, if you keep telling yourself that every single day and you really believe it, you're going to start to become that person. It's like manifesting it. It's like believing in yourself and affirming to yourself that, because it's all connected to emotion. You know, it's all connecting to your emotions, and the emotions that you feel when you tell yourself this kind of things has a profound impact on the results you're going to start creating in your daily routines, in your life every single day.
Yeah, you have to believe it. You have to believe it, because like you said, it's about energy. It's like, you know, we all talk about vibe. Oh, I didn't like the vibe when I went in there, or, you know, I really like this person's vibe. She was so cool, right? Because that's what we give off. So, you know, once again, it starts with us. So you really, really have to believe, because sometimes we think, you know, I have people ask me, well, how do you get, you know, people like this person to like you? Or how do you do this? Or how do you make people like you? And it really starts with you. You know, if you don't like yourself, then how are you going to convince someone else to like you? If you don't love yourself, how are you going to make someone else love you? You know, it all starts with you, with your belief, with your vibration. And, you know, a good way, which is what I tell kids, and this is like one of the biggest blessings for me, a good way to get into a good vibration. This is how I start my day. It doesn't matter what happens. And when I get really upset, I do the same thing too. Okay, what are 5 things right now that I could be grateful for? You know, because that already shifts you. When you have to write down what 5 things, because, you know, your brain is linear. Our brain is linear. We think very, very constructive, complicated thoughts, but the way the brain is like a computer, ones and zeros, right? So it's very linear, and you can only think one thing at a time. So it's like what Tony Robbins does, like when he would say he would do therapy, and then he would ask the girl, oh, why are you wearing that stupid dress? And she would go, what? Because that's how the brain is, you know? So when you make yourself write down 5 things that you're grateful for, well, guess what? That's where your brain is at right now. that's where you're at right now. So that's like, we just have to like do little quick brain hacks to keep ourselves in the state that we want, so that we can get what we want. Because if we really live in an attraction universe, it really is about the law of attraction.
Exactly.
And it all starts with energy. It all starts with vibration.
Exactly. The energy we put out there every single day is what's going to eventually attract the people that are meant to be into our lives. Not right away usually, but they will be attracted into your life with the energy you put out there. There's going to be people who love you, and there's going to be a whole pack of haters probably behind you who haven't reached your level of intelligence yet because of the kind of energy that you'd be putting out there. When it comes to like rejection and relationships and, playing this thing in our head that it's not going to work out. Like Naomi was saying, maybe that person wasn't for you. But if we keep telling ourselves that, this is going to happen every single time, then more than likely we're going to be afraid of rejection and thus never like try ever again. Right. So we have to take in those rejections, tell ourselves the right story behind it. And just believe that there's always something better for you out there. Before I when I graduated from university in August 2019, and I went on to work at the aerospace company, I had applied job after job after job, and I had experience, in the field and much more outside the field too. But they kept saying that I wasn't fit for the job, and it was like multiple interviews. I can't even count how many, and I kept getting rejection after rejection after rejection. But I told myself that I'm getting all these rejections because something better is coming up. I know something better is coming out of all of this. So I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep going. And if you have some kind of distraction in your way, stop that distraction. Cancel it out, drop it, focus on you, focus on the task at hand. Sometimes we have to focus on one thing at a time so that we can master that area. And once you master it, you can start including something else, and then you start multitasking. You master those two, then you could add a third thing. The other two become like, they're already in you. You already know how to do it without question, without effort. It's already part of you. And the third one just, and so on and so forth it goes. It's all starts with what you tell yourself. It's like I always say, the formula is there, right? The formula is there. It's simple, but it's not easy. It's like having the whole bodybuilding meal plan, fitness plan and stuff. Okay, we got it in front of us. How are we going to use this formula? That's the question.
It's simple. That's what I always say. Like, life is really simple. Okay, it's really simple. If you got up on time, if you listen to your body, if you drank a lot of water, if you exercise, if you ate fruits and vegetables, if you went to bed early, if you got a good night's sleep, if you had healthy relationships, if you worked on yourself, all sounds really simple, right? Be kind to others, serve. All of it sounds so simple, but is it easy? Is it easy getting up every morning and going to exercise? No, it's not easy. Is it easy getting that personal development book instead of putting on a movie? No, it's not easy. Is it easy not giving in and getting into that relationship when you know that person's not for you, but you want a little fun? It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. But that's what we have to do if we want to be really happy. Now, I always say, do you just want to have a good time for now? Because if you just want to have fun, if you just want pleasure, then go ahead. Because that's really what it is. If you just want pleasure. But now if you want fulfillment, if you want joy, if you want to go to bed feeling good about yourself, that's a whole different story. Then it's better choices. It's better choices. And like you said, pick a goal. Pick a goal, because when we don't have something to look forward to, you see, this is the thing about humans. We're energy. We're always moving. Mm-hmm. We're always moving. Our cells die and reproduce every single second. Trillions of cells. So we're constantly, everything we see is vibrating. We just don't see it because it's too fast for the human eye to capture. But we're all moving because that's what it is. We're energy. So as energy beings, we always have to be moving towards something, towards a goal. And this is why when we don't have a goal, we become very lost. We make bad decisions, and we lose our way. And that's why I feel like goal, like you said, find something and stick to it. A mission, a goal, a vision, a plan, because it's gonna catapult you into a better place, to where you want to be. But two, it's gonna train you. It's going to train you, and it's going to make you a better person. Actually, I just lost my train of thought right now. I forgot why the point I was going to say but it'll eventually come to me. But yeah, so we're vibration beings. We always have to be moving forward. So that's why we need to set goals. And the good thing about it is when you have something like that, it's easier to make better decisions, because if it doesn't align with what you want to do, like let's say that you had like this live today and someone's like, hey, like, let's go party. Let's just go to the beer, like, and drink beers. But you're like, well, it's easier for you to say no because you have a goal.
Yes.
We get into temptation, we get into trouble when we have too much time in our hands, when we have boredom, when we don't have something to look forward to. So that's why I believe that it's so important. It's so important to have something to look forward to.
And sometimes it takes just a little bit of accountability for ourselves, saying that if I want to move forward, I'm gonna have to hit this goal today, and no matter what comes in your way, don't let it stop you from hitting this goal. You can always make time, usually, for the other things. And if it's hard for you to hold accountability for yourself, which a great step forward would be, if you don't have an accountability partner. Of course, accountability partner would be someone who you make a promise to for like the next day. And if you don't hold on to that promise, then you actually let yourself down and stuff. And that's actually could be a great step forward towards bringing accountability to yourself, so we can start focusing on personal growth. Another step would be, having a planner, making it a goal for yourself for the next day, saying, I'm going to do this on this day. If it's not the same exact time, don't beat yourself up for it. Like we were saying, like, it's a lot of people have this perception about successful people that they hit goals exactly at this time. They hit this many goals a day. They wake up this time every single day. They're so perfect. The answer is no. It's far from perfect. We still make mistakes. However, we perceive things differently than the people who haven't been able to do that for themselves yet. Because when you perceive things differently, you start to get excited for things rather than having to do things. You actually look forward to it rather than, being like, this is just another thing. I don't feel like doing it. And then your whole energy towards it will change by the way that you perceive things.
Yes. Yeah, it's like you were saying, you're motivated instead of being burdened by something. So things give you energy instead of taking energy away from you. That's such a good point. It's so true. And another thing too, that like Carl was saying, so if you don't hit a goal, because we all want perfection. So if we didn't do it perfectly right, then we give up. No, get back the next day and you'll do better. You know what? Yeah. Get back the next day and you'll do better. It's just like that. It's doing a little bit better every day, even if it's not the 100%, but as long as you're getting to it, that's what matters. That's what matters.
Exactly. Like they say, what is it? Like 70 or 80% of success is just showing up. You show up, and another 20%, you'll get it because you are putting in effort consistently. You're focused and you're putting in the energy towards it. If you guys have, I think that we could start moving towards Q&A. If you guys have everything okay?
It was running out of battery.
Okay.
Okay,
yes, I've got mine plugged in also. And if you guys have any questions for Naomi, we'll start. We could start taking in Q&A now. In the meantime, Naomi, where can we find you? Where can everyone find you?
Yes, well, obviously, I'm on Facebook, Naomi Nye, and I'm on Instagram. I have my Teen Rockstar Entrepreneur page, which is where I have the business and I have all the courses for teens. And then I have my website as well. And I'm also on TikTok. So I'll add all the links so that you guys could follow me. And if your kids want to follow me on TikTok too, like with Carl, I love doing 1-minute inspirational clips. I think it's so much fun to do that. But yeah, I primarily work with children because I really feel that it's important to start learning these skills young. I mean, I know personally from my experience, I wish that I would have learned this in my teens. Goodness, even in my 20s, I had to learn it in my 30s and in my 40s, right? I believe that life doesn't have to be as difficult, because although we're all going to face the challenges, but if we're equipped with the tools and the mindset to be able to handle them correctly, then, you know, life won't be as bumpy. And even if it is bumpy, because, you know, life is going to hit us hard sometimes, but at least we can manage it with the right attitude, because the truth is that even when we're going through anything, it doesn't matter how bad it is, there's always a silver lining. There's always something that you could look at to still be happy for. Always. Exactly. You know, always in life.
And it could be as simple as being thankful to be alive, thankful for another day, thankful for making your bed, you know, thankful for waking up. It's like, it starts with the simplest of things. And once you gather all of that, you gather all of those things you're grateful for. Oh my God, you're going to feel amazing. And you're going to be like, there's so much life to live. Why am I sleeping it away? Live it, guys. Live each day. There's magic to be found. And it all starts by taking one small step forward. So you start to make progress. Is that we have, I'm looking at the comments right now. A positive mindset with love for ourselves. The sharing it with others as you grow in unconditional love for ourselves. Exactly. Love all starts within. Christina Shao says that a football star once told me in the gym to always say today is better than yesterday. 100% Zanette. We will provide the links in the comments and the captions. Christina Shao has a question. How did you overcome your health challenges? What was the main thing that made the difference? Just one most important thing.
The most important thing was, like I said, it was the mindset. Because like we were talking about earlier, if I had to undergo the surgery, I was going to have to undergo it anyways. But me having to look at it like it was such a burden and having to feel sorry for myself made the whole experience so much worse, while I should have looked at it as if, well, you know, this is going to help me walk better. At least I have people around me who are with me in the hospital bed, who are calling me every day, that love me, you know, and at least I can still walk, you know. So really everything is how we look at it. I really believe that was the most important thing. The story that I was telling myself. I was telling myself a story like, poor me, here I am sick, instead of thinking, well, you know what? It is unfortunate that I don't feel this way. It's unfortunate that I have to go through this, but I still have so much to be grateful for. And life is still such a beautiful experience, you know, that I'm going to get through it. I'm going to get through it. So I would say, no matter what happens, just always try to look at the cup half full, and you'll be able to get through it. You will. I promise you.
Exactly. That's a beautiful point, Naomi. Someone is asking what brought us to do this live together today. We met through Facebook, followed each other so that we could do something awesome for you guys. And that's what led us to doing this today. Christina Shao, thanks you for being here to do this today.
Thank you.
Have gratitude for our lives, our blessings, our personal connections. And everyone's thanking you, Naomi, for coming on. I thank you for coming on.
Thank you. And I wanna say I'll leave a link here too for any of the parents. I'll give you guys I have some free stuff, like a little course, a little book / workbook. So if you guys want to start getting your kids into personal development, because I know right now with social media, it's so hard. Like, it breaks my heart. I mean, think about how hard our teenage years were. And then now having to be a teen with all the pressures that they have to perform, and then social media, like we were talking about comparison, always comparing yourself. I know that it's really, really, really difficult in the whole technology thing. So if you guys want to get your kids started in being more mindful or developing a little bit more self-awareness, and this is a great place to start. So I'll give it to Carl so that he could put it here for you guys.
Yes, I'll provide all the links for Naomi so you guys should check it all out. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Naomi, for coming on. And
Thanks for
as we all say, if you guys before you ever leave a room, what do? We like to leave in a peak state. And to leave in a peak state means that we are leaving with lots of love. We're leaving with lots of energy. We're leaving with lots of focus, meaning that we can accomplish anything you set your mind to. And it all starts by telling yourself that, yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I must. And I want you guys to know that being in a peak state is easier than you think. And why do I move my hands all the time? I move my hands because I'm actually creating energy. It's as simple as that, guys. It's been an awesome convo, Naomi. Thank you guys for coming on. Stay beautiful, stay strong, stay focused, and have a phenomenal day.
Bye.